Hello everyone. Karnataka State Sunni Students Federation welcomes all the students to this online Think Lab Career Guidance Workshop. Last year, we had conducted division level orbit program for class 10th and class 12th program to talk about career options after their class 10th and class 12th. So this year, because of the lockdown, we are going online to reach out to all the students to talk about career options after their class 10th and class 12th. And this year, we have delayed class 10th exam. Students are still preparing for the board exams. So meanwhile, it's very important because this becomes a very important part of a student's life, the class 10th, because after this, whatever they choose, because till class 10, in class 10, they learn about mathematics, they learn about science, all aspects of science like chemistry, physics, biology, in social studies, they learn about geography, history, civics, political science, and all these things, and plus the languages. So after class 10, it becomes the gap becomes very narrow. You choose to study only specialized things, right? So as I talk about the programs, I'll just share my screen as well. You can see my screen on the right side. Yes. Okay. So if you see, there are some popular mistakes what students do while we choose our careers. The first thing is, obviously in India especially, we have pressure from the parents. We choose what parents want us to choose because you will not have a plan. So if you don't make a plan, you have to listen to somebody else. And the second thing is peer pressure. It's called as a pressure from your friend. You would want to do what your friends actually do. Because you don't have a plan, you would like to do what your friend do. The third thing is the mob mentality. Mob mentality in the sense, there was a time when everybody started becoming a software engineer when computer was booming. So now everybody want to get into artificial intelligence or want to do some kind of MBA programs or something like that. Right? That's called as what people do at a mass, you want to choose that. The next very important thing, especially for our community, is like thinking about going abroad so that you don't complete your studies fully. Once you get 18 years of age, do your passport, get to the foreign countries or a Gulf especially, right? So now this is not the right way to choose your career after class 10. So it's very important you sit with your parents, discuss, see what you like and what is your interest, what is your marks in these subjects, and then choose. So now for class, see now once you are in class 10, you complete. The big question comes to your mind is like, what next? You will have only three options after class 10, majorly three options. If you're not, the first thing would be you can choose art stream or a commerce stream or a science stream. I'll tell you each and everything in detail. So before I get into details of that, I would like to share a small scenario with you. Okay, what happens in the student's mind is this, or normally what happens around us is this. The students who score 85% and above, like a distinction, they would choose mostly, I can say 85%, 90% of the students would choose science because they are good at class 10. And what happens after that? They go out to become engineers, most of them, especially boys, and they would start working in a multinational company, maybe as a software engineer or something like that, right? So now the person who gets only first class mark, like a 60% and above, the person would think himself as an average and he would choose a commerce. And he does his BCom or BBM, BBA, does his MBA maybe after that or MCom, any kind of thing. And he goes out to become a manager and he controls the engineers later. Then what happens? The person who is not even got first class, who got only 50% of marks, what happens? He goes out and chooses arts stream. He works hard later and he prepares for his IAS exams. He becomes an IAS officer and he controls this manager, like the student who passed out commerce and the engineer who did his science. Now what happens to the student who have not passed class 10th at all? What happens to him? Who has failed in class 10? This person goes out to become a politician. And what does he do? He controls the person who passed arts, the IAS officer, right? Like once the IAS officer, he controls manager, manager controls the engineer. So now it's become completely opposite. The person who has scored highest is being controlled by the person who is actually being failed in the class 10. So it was a small joke anyways, but this is not the way you have to choose your career. You need to choose your career based out of your interest. I'll give you a simple example. If you are good at, mechanics and you're good at repairs, you like machines, then you should go and choose engineer, no doubt. If you are caring, you want to help people, you are good at, you want to, serve people, then you are good at, biology and other kind of things. No matter, you have to go and do your medical field. Suppose you are good at literature, you like history, you like to read a lot, you like books, and you want to learn, different kind of things. Obviously, you have to choose arts. You are good. You have a good leadership qualities, and you are good at, all the kind of things. Then you should mostly do commerce and get into a, management things, right? That was a simple example. So now there is one more thing you have to talk about. Now, suppose you are confused between science and commerce, right? See, now if you take commerce, it's difficult for you to come back to science stream. But if you take science and you later you want to become an manager or do some management courses, you can do it. So if you take science, if you're good at science and you're confused about between science and maths, you should go for science, then come back. If you can come back for commerce later point of time. Okay. So if you choose arts and commerce, you cannot go to science stream. But if you choose science, you can always come back to commerce and arts. So we'll see in each stream what are the things you have. So now the graph is very simple. Now suppose if you are in class 10, the next 2 years you have PUC, then 3 years you have degree, maybe a BA or BCom, or if you are taking engineering, you have 4 years of engineering course, then plus 2 years for your masters. Most of the masters are 2 years. So if you want to complete PG, you have to choose 2 plus 3 plus 2 or 2 plus 4 plus 2. So mostly 8 years from now, you will become a postgraduate. Okay, that should be your aim. Now we'll see what the options you have after arts. So the mostly after arts, you choose arts in PUC. We call it as arts here. If you go to Kerala, they call it as humanities. But both are almost the same. So you have BA. So now what happens in 10th standard, you have learned social, right? You have not learned, in social, you have learned bit of history, bit of geography. But when you go to BA, now it becomes a specialization. Now you have to choose what you want to do in BA degree, whether you want to learn about history completely. There is BA history, BA economics, political science. If you're good at, you want to do a counseling, like to talk to people, then there is a psychology options there. Then if you want to do a pure literature studies, then there is a BA literature. Then if you want to do a language studies, then there is a BA in English or BA in different languages. Then if you are good at languages, in the sense learning different languages like Spanish, German, French, then you can do a BA in linguistics. So then if you are interested in social service, then there is a rural development. Or if you are good at international relations, you want to work in UN or other UNICEF, projects, then you can do international relations. Okay, so everything is all depending on your interest, and for everything you have a master's degree as well. So now, what are the things you can do after BA degree? So this is very simple. After BA, you can become an archaeologist. There is an historian. You can become a linguistic psychologist, or you can become a professional of rural development. There is a course called as MSW, Master in Social Works, or a counselor. Especially if you see most of the IAS officers or KS officers, IAS Indian Administrative Service, they all have been pursued their BA. BA is something like gives more options for you to actually learn your IAS officers. You can become IAS officer. You have good options there. Then if you want to do BA is only 3 years course. After that, if you want to do a 2 years specialized postgraduate program, you would have very good courses in different universities in India to actually go to, right? So now these are all other courses. Now suppose you want to do I'll talk about mass communication and journalism a later point of time. You can also talk about travel and tourism, health psychology is there, secretarial practice you can do, nutrition courses you have, and all these things, right? So now after commerce, what you can do? So now arts is done. You have to do BA, then you have to choose your specialties, and next comes your commerce. After commerce, 2 years of commerce, and after that you have 3 years of BCom or BBA. Both are almost the same. In BCom, you learn more of accountancy. In BBA, you learn more of management, right? That's a 3 year course again. That's widely known. And in that, again, you have a specialization. You can talk about marketing management, finance, hospital, biotech, and all these things. Plus, these are the main courses here you have. After 3 years, there is a 2 years PG program, right? You can do MBA. So most of the MBAs, either they do engineering and come back, and mostly if you want direct entry, you finish your class BCom or BBM, you can enter into a MBA. Then there is a master in international business, master in health. Then, and these are some of the institutes I can say topmost institutes in India. You can talk about is IIMs, Indian Institute of Management. One of the what I can say India's leading institutes for management is IIMs. They are the ones who take highest package. So you have Ahmedabad, you have Calicut, IIMs, you have Lucknow, you have IIMs in Bangalore. But then you have, if you're talking about fashion designing, then you go for Indian Institute of Fashion Technologies, and all these things. And even in NIT, you can do MBA programs. Then, if you are good at accounts and finance, then you have options in finance field as well. So this is in finance, you can become an expert in accountancy, like you do MComs. After MCom, you see CA courses are done by commerce graduates, like chartered accountants, ICWA, company secretaries. All these are. A CMA program is, or a CFA or CMA is accounting practices in US and UK. So you can do a course if you want to job in Gulf countries or US and UK based companies. You need chartered accountant is not enough. You have to become a CFAs or CMAs, right? Then other programs you can do after commerce is advertising. It's a good field. Company secretaries. Then you can do your own business. Then international business, digital marketing, and all these things, right? Digital marketing is something which is booming now. Now most of the advertisements are done online. So how to do your products, market your products online. So this is a new course. You can do it's not a big course. Like after completing your 3 years BCom or any kind of thing, you can directly do some courses in digital marketing and become a digital marketer as well. Then you have after science. See, science is very important. So now you have various engineering modules to do. Like you have aeronautical engineers, marine engineering is nothing but you do engineering of you go to the see, like under the ocean, what are the things you have. Then there is a chemical engineering, electrical, electronics. These are all different streams. Civil engineering is something which is very mechanical engineer and all this. And robotics is something very new here, or artificial intelligence. Data science is there. These are all new streams in engineering, booming ones. You can talk about, learn those things as well. So for graduate course, we call it as BE or BTech. For post-graduation, it is ME or Master in Technology. Some of the top institutes in India is IITs. IIT is one of the India's topmost institute for engineering. Then you have NITs, National Institute of Technology. In Mangalore, we have in Surathkal. There is something in Kannur as well. Then in NIT in Trichy. So in every state, you have one NITs as well. Then Kusat is in Ernakulam. Then there is VIT is a good college for you to do, a private college. Then Manipal is a good one. Then Aligarh and all these things, right? Then in healthcare. So now for science, one is engineering field. Second is healthcare field. So in healthcare, majorly you have allopathy is English medicine, where you do MBBS and other things. Then there is Ayurveda field, homeopathy, then veterinary and Unani. All other fields are there. Mostly we choose MBBS things and Unani and other things, right? So the more major courses you have is MBBS is widely known, then BDS, BHMS and all this. And one of the top institute for medical field in India is AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Science. Then the second rank goes to CMC Vellore. Then you have AFMCs, JIPMER in Pondicherry. In Mangalore, we have couple of good medical colleges. One is KMC is good, from Manipal group is good to do medical in that. Others, you have a lot in Karnataka, especially in Mangalore. And now, what if people don't get into engineering, or you are not getting seat in MBBS? What you will do? So you can do a pure science. Suppose you're doing a science in class +2 in PUC. Instead of going for engineering and MBBS, you can do a research. Like you finish BSc program. BSc is for 3 years. So you can do BSc in all these fields. You can do BSc in physics, BSc in chemistry, zoology. These are all fields you have. Then you do MSc, that is masters. Like you do MCom for commerce, you have MSc for science backgrounds. Then you can do a doctorate program, PhD programs in that. So mostly the scientists will go in these fields. Either you can do engineering and get into a research field, do a PhD, you can call yourself a scientist, or you can do a course in this way, and like, or a BSc then MSc and do a PhD. Another very important uh, area which we need to focus is the media and the communication. So this has been highlighted a lot of times, that we need to push this to the maximum extent. That is, the presence in media is very, very important right now. So for the students, who are really interested, in public speaking, getting reports, investigation things and everything. So you need to check after your +2, what the things you can actually, what are the things available, what are the options to get into the journalism field. So you can do mass communication, get into the print media, you can get into the online medias, you can do a TV journalisms. A lot of things are there in this. With all these things like translations, interpretations, they all have a lot of scopes. So one of the major topmost institution to do a media and communication thing is Indian Institute of Mass Communication and Asian School of Journalism, and all the central universities will have the courses in communications, like journalism, anything. Okay, so this is very important, which we need to take after your 10th. Do anything in +2, doesn't matter. If you do arts, it's well and good, and get into the mass communication field. Okay, and another thing we have is the design and technology. Okay, so a lot of people are good at writing. See, even though if they don't remember a lot of things, so they are good in handwriting or the designs. They like to paint. So if you have these kind of qualities, the creative qualities, not only about the drawing and things I'm talking about, there are some people are good in tailoring things. They are good at designing stuff. They can visualize the new things. So if you have these qualities, get into a fashion designing. See, designing the fashion designing doesn't mean that you are just into a textile field. The designing is there everywhere. Suppose if you have to choose tiles, so there is some person who actually designs that. If you are talking about footwear, there is somebody actually doing designing of footwear. This is also a course. It's all studied and done as well. So jewelry as a design, web designing is, graphic is there. So for us, designing means not only posters or WhatsApp and other things. These are all the areas where you can actually talk about designing. There is a specialized schools for all these things. Okay, NIFT is one of the good ones. National Institute of Design, National Institute of Fashion Designing is there. Indian Institute of Ceramic Designing, Leather Designing. For all kind of designings, we have institutes. You can get into it by writing some of the entrance exams and be there. Okay. And next you have, very important, the law studies. Okay, law studies is something which we need to give more importance. So in law itself, there are two ways to get into law. One would be after you are class 12, you see, do integrated degree and law together, BA, LLB, or after your degree, you get into a LLB course. After LLB, you go for post graduation. So there are LLB, BA, LLB is there, LLM is, and then there's a master in thing. So the best school is National Law Schools. Then Nalsar, Hyderabad is there. There are law schools in Bangalore, which is all from central government. Bangalore, then you have National School in Pune, various places. You get into that, or else you can have law schools in our own institute as well. Then there is different kinds of allied health sciences, like you can do something in pharmacy, T Pharma, then Pharma D is there. So all lab technology, operation theater technologies. These are all the things. If you are not able to get into MBBS or any other kind of courses, you can do these short-term courses, 3 years, 4 year courses, and help the doctors in achieving the results. Okay. Then there is natural sciences. Say, for example, there is a person who is interested in agriculture, like he loves planting, he loves gardening. The person loves to take care of goats, cows, milking, and all these things. Don't wait. There are courses in agriculture. There are courses in forest driven, veterinary science, environment, all these kind of things. You can learn about earth itself. So all these kind of things you can actually do a course and become an expert in that. So you can invent new technologies, do cropping in more big hectares of lands with using technologies, and you can make a career out of it. Okay. Then see, this is something very important. So these are some of the important examinations in India to get into central universities or to the top institutes. So for medical, you need to write AIMS, or you have NEET exam for all the medical colleges. For AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Science, there is a separate. If you are getting into JIPMER in Pondicherry, they have a separate entrance exam. For Aligarh Muslim University, you have separate exams for you say medicals. So just note of all these things. For engineering, the topmost entrance exam is IIT JEE to get into IITs, mains and advanced. Then for VIT college, there is separate Aligarh, there will be separate NIT, Manipal, for in Pusat, all these things. NDA is something you can get into the field of air. This one, let's say army, or all these things. You can write the exams and get into there. And a lot of times you would get entrance exams to get into the Air Force and Navy. That's one of the good career actually to do after 12th standard. If you are good in science, take NDA exams and become an expert in army, pilot, and all these things. The management exam, you have CAT to get into IIMs. MAT is the management oriented things. Then there's a PGCT in Karnataka to get to Karnataka colleges. And for law, you have exams like CLAT and LSAT and all this. These are some of the things I have shown. If you have require any other assistant, I can help you later point of time. Then this is very important. Anybody who has a degree, degree in the sense after a PUC, 3 years, or engineering, any kind of degree, you can become IAS officer or a KAS officer. IAS officers are the ones who are actually working under central government, who are making the laws for us, right? You see the DC office, DC is there, then all these things, IPS officers are all done. Yeah, they have written UPSC exam. So you have written UPSC exam. If you pass it with the interview and everything, you become IAS officer or IFS or IPS officer. For Karnataka, it is KSS. For Indian services, it is IAS, right? So there is a thing. You need to have a degree, then write preliminary examinations with the different subjects. Then you have to, once you pass it, then choose a main subjects and work hard, write the exams, attend the interview, and become IAS officer. It's very, very important. And yeah, there is a prelims and finals for that. Another thing is you can also think about is a lot of colleges are offering courses in Islamic theology with the Dawa courses with the plus you finish once you come out of the Dawa course, you will also finish PGs as well. So it is like Sharia with modern studies. So for higher studies, you can go to Al Azhar University or PhD. So you have good number of institutes there. ISC Bangalore is India's #1 for all these kind of courses. Then there is a Christ Bangalore, Jawaharlal University, Delhi universities are good enough. Plus you have Jamia Millia University, Aligarh Muslim University, all these things are good enough for all these programs. And so now what I would like to tell to our students especially, what we see here is like, most of the students, right? What we do is you finish your PUC, like based on the marks, like you get 80%, you go to science, 60% commerce, 50% arts. You should leave all these things. Now you sit quietly in some place. Now analyze yourself, what you're good at. If you feel science is good, even if you get, you are good at science, you like physics is exciting you, motors are exciting you, machines are exciting you. Even if you get 65-70% of marks, you just go ahead and do your science. You choose science stream, right? Work hard. Get a similar course. If you are good in, like if you are interested in physics, like machines and everything, get into engineering in mechanical or other stuff. Do your own thing. So now the second part, what you have to do, especially all the students I'm telling, once you complete your, see, you can be in your place. If you are in Bangalore, do your PUC in Bangalore. Don't think about going outside. Okay. If you are in Bangalore or if you are in any other place, Chikmagalur, Madikeri, Davangere, wherever you are, choose a good college to complete your plus two. Maybe a science, commerce, or art, doesn't matter. After plus two, I would strongly suggest all the students to think about central universities. So we have a good number of central universities in India, especially we have Jamia Millia, especially for Muslim students, should go and study there. Then there is Aligarh Muslim University in Uttar Pradesh, Aligarh, also established by Muslims, and it's a central university now. And then there is very good universities like Jawaharlal Nehru universities. So these are all even in Hyderabad we have Hyderabad Central University. So you have to choose the good universities after a plus two. Why you have to choose central universities? The first thing is you will have world class facilities. See, now in 10th standard, teachers give you notes. You take the notes, learn, understand the concepts, write the exam, get passed. When you go to PUC or plus two, more or less you have the same methodologies, take the notes. But when you go to the degree colleges after class 12, after PUC, it's very important. You need to have a very good a store of books. Okay, like especially the library facilities. It should be of a good stature for you to get a good exposure to the different books and research methodologies. So when you choose a central universities, one thing is your repute increases. So when you are doing a degree in a normal university, college, and getting the seat in central university itself will increase your repute. Okay, when you do come out as an engineer of central university or do some degrees in central universities, the job market is will call you first than other people. The preference is more for the people who actually go and study in central universities or in IIMs or IITs. If you do engineering in one of the local college or in IITs are given preference in any companies. So you have to choose how you want to go and get into there. You have to think about that. So now if you want to get into a central universities, especially your Jamia or any kind of central university, they will have their entrance exams. So you have to look for the dates. Mostly if your course will start at July or August, they would announce the date in the month of May. So you have to look for the dates, which place they are conducting exams. Mostly they will do it in Bangalore, even for Jamia or Aligarh. So you may have to go to the exam centers, pay the fees online, get into exams, and try to get the seat there. See, now if you go to Aligarh Muslim University, your hostel facilities would be free there. You would have all kind of, you will have more than 100 acres, 200 acres of campus with a huge library there. You would have sports things. You would have a research guides. So all these things you can either choose for degree or postgraduate. But keep in mind, to all the students, think about central universities. Check, once you finish your 12th, you can contact one of us, or if you have any doubts even now after this program. This is a very short video I have just shown you. So if you have doubts after that, you can call us. Okay, you can call us. I think the number will be shared with you. You can call us, ask your doubts about how to get into these universities. Even the students who are completing class 12 now can ask how to get into the central universities. What is the procedure? We can help you. We have the students there studying in all the universities. We can help you to get there. So now, then, if you are thinking about IITs after class 12, you are in the science stream. You have done your engineering, science, and you have written CET, like how to get to the IIT programs. The students who are doing first PUC now, you have to write AIEEE, maybe you have to write JEE exams, pass it, get into the IITs. So once you get into the IITs, your repute has increased there itself, and after 4 years, you have a different life. So this is very important. And the next thing what we are focusing in SSF program is we need a lot of lawyers to come out. So now, if you are doing a BA programming like BA or arts, think about becoming a lawyer. Becoming a lawyer is not a bad career. We have a lot of scholars coming out and doing multiple courses and doing even Markaz Knowledge City has its own law college there, where actually everybody come and study law and they practice in high courts and now plan to go to Supreme Court as well. So law is also a good course. You have a national law school in Bangalore. You can get entry over there, and even there is a national law school in Pune as well. So you may have to write a different entrance exam for that called as NCLAT. and write that. And another important area we require is the area in journalism. Becoming if you are good at talking, if you are good at literatures, you're good at all these kind of things, it's very important you choose a journalism. In every central universities you have journalism courses, you can get into that and do about this. So if you have any specific doubts and queries, you can write to us, you can call us, we will be able to help you. We have students studying in all the universities, and especially we have very less number of students who are actually studying in, especially our Mangalore area, Muslim students, even Muslim community students in this part, going and making the efforts to get into central universities. But this picture should be different in coming years. So let us focus and make sure that more and more number of students get into the central universities and study there. Okay, so this was a very short video, and if you have any queries a later point of time. So remember, journalism, law courses, and suppose the students who have not got MBBS seats, even if you don't want to do a BSc and other things, there will be a lot of technology courses for allied sciences, like or paramedical courses, I can say. So now the operations are done by robotics. So you can learn about after your class 12th in science stream, you can learn about robotics technologies in the operation theaters. That can be a good courses for you. So all these things, using machines and doing learning paramedical things, all these things are there. So this was a very short video. We welcome the queries from the students from all parts. For the students who are studying in Kannada medium, students who have not understood part of it, you can write to us. We would try to release another Kannada video explaining all these things in Kannada as well, okay, in coming days. Thank you so much for watching this. Please spread the word. See you soon again.